Was the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach, and fitness expert, Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disrupted: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance. This is your chance where I sit down with today's tops in business, mindset, wellness, and success to help you master disruption and thrive.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon.
He's a multi-six-figure business coach leading a community of 20,000 plus coaches, helping thousands of coaches grow their business and sign more clients. His work has been featured an entrepreneur, online business owner, etc. His approach to business growth integrates identity and strategy to help coaches build wildly profitable businesses from the inside out. He's been building businesses for nearly 20 years as a former director of sales who helped scale a multi-seven-figure coaching business, and his heart-centered view on marketing is a radical departure from the aggressive marketing tactics taught today. I'm excited to welcome to the podcast, Jason Moss.
Thanks so much, Lisa. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so happy to have this conversation with you. I'm really sick of some of these tactics of like crazy marketers, like I can book your calendar and all this kind of stuff. So how can we scale our coaching business by embodying the identity of your next level of income and success?
Sure, it's a great question. And, really for me, this question was born from a lot of frustration and both trying and spending years, trying to scale my own business and, hitting blocks in my own journey and wondering, when I was so focused on trying to change things on the outside, why was I, stuck at a certain level of income and seeing, clients who have experienced the same things and seeing that, I could give two people the same strategies, the same external things, and they go out there and one person would be able to, take those things and double or triple their revenue in, 3 months or 6 months. And the other person would take the same thing and they'd stay exactly where they are. So the truth is, as I've done more of this work, what I've realized is any, external change really starts from the inside out. And so regardless of, whoever's listening to this, whether you're an executive, you're in a leadership role in a corporation, or you're running your own business, the way that I think about growth externally is first as how do you become the kind of person who can hold the level of success that you actually want? So for me, on a practical level, we're close to 7 figures now. We're, at the time we're doing this interview, maybe, 6, 7, 800,000 a year. And so my task on a daily basis and what I've really been doing as a coach who's, working on scaling past 7 figures is I wake up every day and I ask myself, what would a 7-figure coach do today? And how would a 7-figure coach think about making this decision? And, so when something comes on my desk or somebody sends me an email or I have an opportunity, I run everything through that lens of that identity. And by showing up as if I'm that thing and choosing to walk in lockstep with that new identity on a daily basis, this is how you create growth and momentum in your life and how you create something new on the outside. Otherwise, I've seen this happen quite a bit, both in my own life and, with the people that I work with. It's like, if you're solely focused on the outside, but you don't change the inside, it's like you can maybe create something, but you can't hold on to it. And so you see so many amazing, talented people who it's like they maybe they hit one really good month in their business, and then the next month they're right back where they started. And there's this almost like one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake thing happening. And it's almost always because the internal identity is not corresponding with the thing that they're trying to create. So really all success starts from the inside out, and being able to just, as a practice, whatever you're trying to create in your life, being able to ask yourself, okay, the person who's already at that level, how would they move to this day? What decisions would they make here? How would they think about this investment or this partnership or this opportunity? is such a powerful question that can really create much quicker momentum in a business and just in any area of change in your life.
I absolutely love that on so many levels. Like, you always know that mindset is such an important piece, but there's also so much of things that are the shiny objects that are like, I should be doing a podcast and then a YouTube channel and then 10 posts on social media. And then if you were framing it from what would the 7-figure coach be doing right now, it might help you take stuff off of your plate too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course. Or maybe I shouldn't be even doing this at all. Maybe I should hire somebody to delegate this to. Or maybe the energy, the content will change when you're showing up as that already. I mean, I use this example quite a bit when I first started, my coaching business as a business coach. I remember showing up in content and, showing up on lives and videos and talking about, I was like, hey, when I work with clients on this, this, and this, and I didn't even have any clients yet, but
Yeah.
I was playing the part. I was showing up as if I was the thing. And then, one day I woke up and I was like, wow, we've got this roster, over 1,000 clients now. And it really does happen like that. It's the internal first, is showing up as the thing. And then, through time, that starts to kind of ground into the external world and be reflected back in your experience.
That's brilliant. I mean, how can we make more money is my other question, asking for a friend. I'm just curious, when we want to be with greater alignment and flow and sign more clients and work less with more ease.
Yeah, it's a big question. And obviously it depends on what kind of work you're doing. But in the work that I do, helping coaches and really anyone who's building a personal brand online and using that as a way, as a vehicle to be able to generate sales and income and clients. I mean, there's a couple of principles. The first thing is growing your audience, just being able to get in front of more people who could be a good fit for what you do. So, looking at your marketing strategy and how you're getting in front of people. And there are, basically 3 different forms of traffic that you can use to do this. We've got organic traffic, which,
Right.
is like the podcast that you're doing right now, being able to show up and build a presence on social media, or, basically creating content that's drawing people in. We've also got partnership traffic, which one of the reasons why I'm doing these all these podcasts is because I have the opportunity and really the privilege through people like you to be able to get in front of other audiences that have people in my niche in them. So you can go and look at, okay, well, if I'm a health coach, or if I'm a business consultant, or if I'm a mindset coach, what are the other audiences out there that I could potentially tap into and get in front of, be interviewed on podcasts, or be a part of virtual summits? Or there's so many different ways to do this. And then we've got paid traffic, which is the third of these things, which is basically trading your money for attention, using things like ads, which we use in our business to basically get in front of people at scale. So some mix of all those 3 things is going to be a part of your marketing strategy. And usually when you're talking about, how do you make more money, it's how do we double down on things that are going to allow us to get in front of more people with less of our time. So usually, maybe it's transitioning to paid traffic, or maybe it's using things like, partnerships to get in front of more people. So instead of, spending all your time talking to people one-to-one, you're, you have a strategy that allows you to get in front of more people with less of your time. So that's on the front end. And then on the back end, it's how do we, take those people who are following us, and how do we become better at basically turning more of them into clients? And oftentimes a lot of that comes down to just making more offers.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's like, you want to make more money in the business, you just sell more things more times. And so it oftentimes is as simple as just like talking more about what you do and how you can help people, reaching out to people, being able to layer intimacy on top of, a lot of people are just, sending emails, and they're expecting their content to kind of bring people in. But one of my biggest like hacks for being able to make more money in a business is just layering on like personal one-to-one connections on top of that. So that could be as simple as, one of my favorite ways to upsell clients is just texting people. So I'll put together like a quick little Google Doc that's like, takes me like 5 minutes to write, of like, here's the thing that, I'm selling. And I'll literally just pull out my phone and I'll just start texting our clients, and I'll say, hey, you should do this. I think it is really good for you. This is such an easy thing to do. And so just making more invitations and making more offers. And that can be a very simple way of just taking, if you are building an audience and you're doing a good job on the front end, you've got people who are paying attention to you, being able to take more of those people and turn them into clients and ultimately make more money as a coach, or really, in any kind of business that you're running.
I love it. So do you typically start with organic traffic and other people's audiences and then move into the paid ads once you have proven out the system from there to
For
make?
most people, yeah. Yeah, because the thing about organic is, I mean, the paid traffic is great when you have proof of concept, you know who you're talking to, you've got a message that's landing and connecting, and people have bought your stuff.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, paid traffic is like kind of like pouring gas on the fire. And it's like you kind of got to have a little bit of a fire started before you do that. So I see a lot of people who jump to paid traffic and they jump too soon, and they haven't really figured out the foundations of their business yet, like who their people are, or they don't really have an offer that's really connecting and selling. And so they end up, I mean, you could spend a bunch of money on ads, but if you're not really dialed in on those pieces, you end up wasting a bunch of money. So once you have those things in place, and I think organic is the best way to figure that out, then if you really want scale and you want to be able to grow your business, then that is where paid traffic, I think, can be really useful and helpful.
And there's something else that I read in your bio that I thought was super interesting to like selling from the heart, because there's so many spammy people out there right now that are promising you the moon, and it makes me defensive all the time. Like, no. So
Sure.
how can you differentiate yourself from those used car salesmen, people that don't know how to build a relationship first and really sell more from the heart and actually sign more clients while not being that pushy, aggressive, or salesy kind of person that nobody wants to connect with?
Sure. It's a great question. I think it's the question that is so relevant today, because you're right. I mean, we're inundated, regardless of what work you do or what niche you're in, you probably go on, your social media apps, and it's like we get blasted with so many people trying to sell us stuff, and it's overwhelming, and trust is at an all-time low. And so much of the journey as an entrepreneur, as a business owner today, is be able to play in that kind of a space where people inherently are distrustful a lot of the time. So for me, I think there's a couple of principles that help with this. The first, you use this word relationships. I think so much of marketing, the way I think about marketing and selling and just building businesses, is it's getting back to the fundamentals of how we build relationships as human beings, because the things that work online are the same things that work offline. And if we just look at, like, if you look at any relationship in your life, your partner, your husband, your wife, your best friend, and you think about how that relationship unfolded, the same dynamics play into business relationships as well. And so where I think a lot of people get things wrong is it's like we're all trying to optimize for, like, how do we get the sale up front as quick as possible? It's like you click on the ad and then it sends you to the video, and then it's like you don't even know this person and they're giving you a pitch. It's like I don't trust you yet. And so the way I think about marketing is very much a long-term game. This is one of the hardest things for business owners to do, is to be able to let go of, like, the short-term focus. And if there's one, real thing, insight that has helped me scale, it's the more money I make, the wider my time horizon gets. And the more focused I am, I used to think in like weeks. And then it was like I started making a little money and I started thinking in months. And now I'm like, I could, run an ad and people are going to come in and I might not even hear from them for 6 months. And that's okay with me. Like I'm happy for somebody to sit in my email list and to be, watching my free stuff and content. And because of it, when I show up, like in a video or a interview like this, it's like, I'm not here trying to make a sales pitch. I'm just here to give and to share and to hopefully provide some insight and value. And over time, my commitment day after day after day after day is like showing up in the hardest service and be able to share and add value and help people. And it's the easiest thing to do, but it's actually, the hardest thing, because it's like we got this part of our mind that constantly feels like, okay, there's this scarcity thing that's like, okay, if I did the training and then I didn't get sales like right off the back of the training, or if someone signed up for my email list and they didn't buy from me in like a week, something's horribly wrong. And so, you got all these people out there trying to like make things happen really fast. And it ends up creating this dynamic that actually goes very counter to the way that human relationships work, which is lots and lots of touch points over time. If you look at any important relationship in your life, you think of, again, your best friend or your partner, your spouse. It's like, you think about how many dates you went on. You think about how many times you went out to coffee, and how many times you just hung out or texted them. And it wasn't like, it was like you went on the first date and then they asked you to get married. That would have been weird.
That'd be scary.
Uh, very scary, right? Most people would probably be uncomfortable with that. So why do we do that in business? Why do we expect that dynamic is going to work in business if it doesn't work in any other relationship in our life? It doesn't make any sense to me. It never did. And so much of my journey as an entrepreneur has been dismantling a lot of these strategies and these approaches that honestly, in my opinion, run very counter to the way that humans are supposed to interact, and asking myself, what would it be like to build a business that's actually in alignment with the way that relationships really work? And the more I do that, the more money I make. It's really that simple. But on a deeper level, it does take kind of working with a lot of the fear and the scarcity and all of these, like the inner voices and all the things that get in the way of just being able to relax a little bit and step back into this like place of trust where you can allow a relationship to unfold without, getting super grippy. It's the same thing that happened in, if you're dating someone, is like you maybe go out on a first date, you may have experienced this too. You're shaking your head. I can
Oh
imagine you
yeah.
probably have had this
I've
moment.
experienced it all, but mostly lately, since I am married, it's more the business thing where it's just like, if only these people are listening to this podcast, they're hitting me up constantly without getting to know me first. What is my need? Like, how can they
Right.
be so sure that they can help me?
Yeah, absolutely. That's another great, principle is I never pitch something until I understand where somebody is and where they're at and what they really need. So coming in as a problem solver rather than like a product pusher, I think is a big reframe for a lot of people, because you get so many cold pitches. It's like, I don't even know who you are. I have no idea. You don't know me. You don't know my business and whether or not your thing can actually help me. You're just shoving your stuff on me like spraying your pitch everywhere, versus being able to come in and say, hey, like, tell me a little bit more about what's going on right now, in your business, or where do you want to go? And, oh, actually, like, based on where you're at, I don't think I'm the right person for you. I think there's this other person out there that would be way more useful and valuable for you where you're at. Or we actually have this thing that, based on what you're sharing with me, like you said, you have this problem, like this is actually designed to solve that. When you can come in with that mindset, as coming from a place of service, and being able to truly understand where someone's at, and honestly ask yourself what someone really needs, you just change the game. It sets you apart from 99% of the people out there who are doing business, who are just trying to sell their stuff.
I just love the idea of everything being of service and coming at it from that vantage point, instead of like, it's obviously the same thing in dating or anything else, it's all enrollment, but it's the same thing. It's like the long game, the relationship building, not trying to like jump in bed with someone right away in business or in life. It's just like, take the time
Yeah,
to
it's
play the long game. And do you have any other final words for our audience about how we can be unstoppable in business?
I would say, like, the things that most people probably really need, in my opinion, are to slow down. It's ironic. It's like I've really been sitting with this phrase lately, like, to speed up, you got to slow down. It's like people are driving through, they're grinding, they're hustling, the relational aspect is getting, put to the side. If you can slow down, if you can be present with people, if you can, truly listen to what people really need, be curious, be a problem solver, be genuinely, of service in your interactions, and truly, helping people solve problems. I mean, there's so much opportunity out there. It's literally crazy. And the only thing that I think holds us back from that is it's generally the mental drama that we have, the scarcity, the fear, the voices that are going to keep us from just, being truly present and authentic in terms of the way that we communicate. So for me, on a deeper level, I think it's really about doing that work and being able to unpack what are those deeper layers that are holding me back from just being able to show up authentically in a conversation and not have this agenda like I constantly need to like make something happen because I'm afraid, if I don't make a sale, then I'm not going to get my needs met, or I'm not going to be able to pay the rent, or it's all those stories that I think for a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, the fear is really what gets in the way of doing all the things that we're talking about. So, if I had to leave someone with a takeaway, it would probably be the fear is normal, to be able to work with that, and there's so many different tools and techniques and ways of going about that, and just again to show up in the heart of service and contribution, to really be able to to the best of our ability to show up and make an impact and truly help people. And I believe that is the path to more money, more income, more clients, the wildly abundant, successful, unstoppable business and life that most of us, really want.
Well, Jason, this is so exciting, like the way that you are refreshingly doing things differently. So, Jason Moss, where can people find more of you?
Yeah, so you can connect with me on our website. Is probably a good place to go, jasonmoss.com, jasonmoss.com. I always say our email list is where the magic is. We've got tons of, if you are a coach, consultant, someone who's transforming the lives of others, we've got a really valuable free guide there you can download that will, in and of itself is super useful to just help you dial in more of your marketing so you can sign more clients. And that will also add you to our email list. And we just got so much free, valuable stuff that we're sending out all the time to help you grow your business. And I would also encourage you to connect with me on Instagram at Jason Moss Coach. And I always love just hearing from people. So let me know what resonated, and I'd love to hear from you and what you're up to.
JasonMoss.com. Thanks. It was wonderful seeing you.
Thank you.